Hello and good afternoon from your Co-op Community Stadium. I'm Shaun Cashmore, I'm joined again by Craig Barnes, and you are with us for today's National League North match between Leamington and Blyth Spartans. Last week we saw Leamington back in action following a series of postponements due to bad weather across the country, but back in action they were for the visit of Kings Lynn Town, and whilst for a very good period of that game in which the Breaks battled hard, created half chances and were well in the game, their opposition proved too strong and the Linnets ran out 3-0 winners as they continued their push for promotion. That was only Leamington's 7th loss in the league this season, interestingly. That is the lowest number of any team in the bottom half of the National League North, but it has also only been 5 wins so far this season, a victory column number they share with today's visitors, Blyth Spartans, and with only bottom side Telford picking up less wins this campaign, it is part and parcel of why the Breaks are starting to take anxious looks over their shoulder. As for this afternoon's opponents, Blyth Spartans, well, if the Breaks are looking over their shoulder, you can bet that the Green Army is doing the same. However, 23rd and 6 points from safety, the Spartans will be as desperate as today's hosts to pick up a much-needed win as a relegation battle ensues. Blyth will be fully aware they need to tighten up at the back if they are to stay in the league. So the teams are out. We are going to have a minute's silence before kick-off for, well, 3 Leamington affiliated people who have passed away recently. Ian Mitchell, long-time volunteer and fan. Andy Jenkins, of course, the former kitman known by many in a break shirt, and Mark Davidson, the former director. So the players are out. They've just taken their positions around the centre circle. Leamington in their gold and black. Blyth Spartans this afternoon in that sort of 2 shade of bluey purple, the light blue and the darker purple. Round just loses possession, is dispossessed, and Walker helps one forward for Hulbert. Hulbert can't quite get on the end of it, and the ball is just loose in the middle of the park. Picked up by Edwards. Leamington look to spring forward. Edwards comes forward, right-footed, finds Turner in space on the left. Turner inside the 18-yard box, onto his right foot, shapes to shoot, decides against it, chips one in towards the far post where his arriving cross is helped away by the goalkeeper and then helped away at the second attempt by Elsdon. It was a good ball in by Dan Turner. Cross was in space at the far post and he just couldn't quite turn it home. It was well defended in the end by Blyth and they've cleared their lines. However, Meredith will recycle it back in towards Hulbert. Again, cleared away by Elsdon. But good attacking intent by the Breaks and good play from Dan Turner.
It was. I mean, Blyth had been just on the attack just before that move, but Leamington carried it forward. Jack Edwards highly involved and came out to Dan Turner on this near side, and I wondered if he was going to try and get a shot in. Instead, crossed it in, and Cross's effort was well saved by the keeper. Ball comes into the middle of the park. Edwards flicks it on. Edwards now tries to get on the end of it. Edwards through towards the goal, and then he just can't quite beat the goalkeeper who came out to him. Mitchell made a good save as Edwards just bundled through a couple of challenges, got a right-footed shot away low. Well saved by Mitchell. They still haven't cleared their lines. Walker comes through. Walker brought down. Snapshot by Turner, and then it's cleared away by Blyth. Leamington fans appealed for a penalty as Walker stumbled on the edge of the 18-yard box. The referee waved it away quickly, and then as the first-time effort came in, it was cleared away for a corner, and Leamington have their first corner of the afternoon. As I was saying, the Croft Park Hound asked us how many Blyth fans are here this afternoon. Tricky to know because we're not segregated here, but before kick-off I'd say there was about 15 or 20 milling around, so good travelling support. Corner to come in right-footed in towards the penalty spot. Edwards wins the header, it's headed down, it's easily collected by Mitchell, but again, a shot on target, and Jack Edwards has had 2 early efforts on target. Yeah, I mean, Leamington, I'd say last 5 minutes or so, very much on top. I'm just looking out at both sides, and I'd say there's a little bit of a height difference today for me. Blyth Spartans, I'd say the tallest player, maybe Connor Panny. Leamington seem to be on the ascendancy on that particular characteristic today. In towards Edwards. Edwards nods it down towards Turner. Turner, first time effort, good save by Mitchell. Got down to it well, save he should make. Turner didn't really catch it possibly as cleanly as he'd like, but again, it's another effort on target. However, Blyth now come down this right-hand side with the number 24, Barrett. Barrett gambles forward, tries to play it in towards Round. He was cut out by Hall. It'll be a throw into Blyth on this right-hand side, and Leamington just need to be aware that when they do go forward and they're having these early opportunities, that they aren't caught out on the counter-attack. Meredith in towards the 18-yard box, over the head of Edwards, in towards Hulbert, cleared away at the first time of asking, only as far as Walker. Walker, first-time effort over the bar. Another effort from Leamington, though. We've seen plenty of the ball. I'd say this is the most opportunities we've had in the opening 20 minutes in a long time, to tell the truth, and on another day could have been a goal up. Just about 10 yards inside the Blyth Spartans half. It'll be taken
by Liam Cross, chips it towards the middle of the 18-yard box, headed away, headed back in by Clark, headed up towards Turner. Turner, first time effort, straight into the gloves of Alex Mitchell. Another effort on target, but another effort as it was just as Alex Mitchell tried to throw one out quickly. Hall, but just stepped right in front of him and it come off his back, and the referee just blows for a free kick. Chip forward onto the head of Hulbert. Hulbert lays it into the path of Edwards. Edwards sees Cross in space on the right-hand side. Cross in towards the 18-yard box. Cross, great effort. It's just wide. Great effort on his left foot from Cross. Just bent one towards the far post. Alex Mitchell was rooted, and it was just half a yard wide.
When you get players on loan sometimes from for the Football League, they sometimes do something that makes you see exactly why. That from Cross just drove into the penalty area with purpose. Looked like it was going to be hitting the back of the net, didn't it? But it just just drifted wide.
Well, my voice went up an octave or two because I thought that was heading goal bound, but like we say, just wide. Chipped into the middle of the park there with Spellman. Spellman in towards the 18-yard box. Spellman brought down, penalty. Joe Clark brings down Spellman, the new man, and Joe Clark has been shown a straight red card for preventing a goal-scoring opportunity, and just like that, it all seems to start to fall apart for the Breaks. While Spellman was sent through clean on goal, Clark was trying to get back goal side of him. Clark, though, adjudged to have brought him down, and Leamington, in the blink of an eye, are down to 10 men, have conceded a penalty, and Joe Clark makes his way towards the changing rooms.
Yeah, I mean, I just saw Spellman to all the action was at the other end, and you see a break, and then you look down, and Spellman just tumbling to the deck, and Blyth have a penalty.
Joe Clark brought his man down just inside the 18-yard box. He didn't appear to be the last man, and it did appear to be a soft-ish penalty, but a foul nonetheless. So Blyth looked to try and make it 1-0. Penalty converted easily, and it was sent low down into the bottom corner by Hodgson. Callum Hawkins went the wrong way, and it's 1-0 to Blyth Spartans, and it's been sent home by Sam Hodgson, who puts the Blyth Spartans 1-0 up here at Your Community Stadium.
And how quickly a game can turn, because we're talking about Liam Cross at the other end having an opportunity where we were both expecting the net to bulge. Didn't happen. Straight from that down the other end, I was saying about Football League players and what they can bring to a side. It was Spellman in the penalty area, got the wrong side of Joe Clark, who brought him down by the looks of it, and from the resulting penalty, Blyth lead.
Hall has plenty of space and time just to advance. He sends a long ball forward over the top, collected on his chest by Hulbert. Hulbert does well just to hold it up and then give it to Turner. Turner chips it in towards Walker. Walker inside the 18-yard box. Walker, great shot, great drive, just wide. Walker on his left foot, drove one goalwards. Great effort, but just a couple of inches wide of the right-hand post of Alex Mitchell. And we're just having a minute's applause here at Your Community Stadium for long-serving Blyth Spartans fan Lee Hulme, who passed away last August. He always travelled well with the Green Army. His friends are in attendance, and both sets of fans observing that a minute's applause fantastically. Theo Street clears away for the Breaks, over the top for Turner to give chase. Turner gives chase well and collects on the left-hand side, gets towards the byline, chops back onto his right foot. Turner inside the penalty area, just dribbled away from him, just ran away from him as he looked to try and get the shot off, and he couldn't quite keep it in play. Good intent from Dan Turner on that left-hand side, but instead it'll be out of play, and it'll be a goal kick for Alex Mitchell. And Liddell just brings it into play. Matthew Elsdon again. Like I say, they're just enjoying possession at the back here. He's put under pressure there, Cousin Dawson, by Dan Turner, but just threw a little Cruyff turn on him and then chopped back out towards Liddell, who can just play a 1-2 with Spellman now. Liddell comes forward from the left-back position in towards the centre of the park, tries to chip one forward towards the number 26 of Hodgson. On this left-hand side, Spellman has a drive. Great save from Callum Hawkins. Full stretch, full fingertips to it, tips one over the bar. Great drive by Spellman, great save by Callum Hawkins.
Yes, superb strike that from Spellman. It looked like he was going to beat Hawkins, but he just managed to get some fingertips to it. It was curling all the way, wasn't it? Curling away from Hawkins. Great save.
Really good save from Callum Hawkins, looking for his 16th clean sheet in a break shirt, but that's not going to come today as he's already been beaten from the penalty spot. But that was a fantastic save, tipped over the crossbar. So it'll be a corner to be taken by McGowan this time over on that far side. It'll be in swinging again, in towards the near post this time, headed away by Walker, headed back in by a Spartan's head. This is straight into the gloves of Callum Hawkins, who collects easily and then just goes down, landed really awkwardly on his right knee, it seemed to be. Edwards tells him to stay down because he tried to get back to his feet and then just collapsed in a heap once more. Always the more worrying ones, those where you go down with no one around you and stay down. And I think Pete Denham, the Leamington physio, is going to be asked to come on, and he does come on. So we'll have a little break in play here, Craig, while Callum Hawkins just gets a bit of attention to that knee.
And yeah, this would be the last thing, obviously, that Leamington needs. Callum Hawkins, such an important figure for us. As you say, the number of clean sheets he had, obviously, particularly at the start of the season. Hopefully he's obviously okay.
Looks like Callum Hawkins is going to be okay. He's back to his feet and just positioning himself for this goal kick. So he'll take it left-footed. So he'll just have to put a bit of pressure on that right knee as he takes it. And he's goaded by the Green Army, travelling support behind his goal, and he goes down straight away in absolute agony, does Callum Hawkins, and that doesn't look good, and he stays down, and the referee is going to stop the play because Callum Hawkins does not look in a good way at all. And Leamington are going to find themselves in a very tricky position today, as Leamington are going to have to look to an outfield player to go in goal for what remains, and the man they've chosen, who they've put in goal, and I think it might be James Mace, and it is James Mace who's gone in goal. So James Mace makes his 430th appearance for the club between the sticks, the club's record appearance holder. It is Leamington 0 with 10 men, Blyth Spartans with 11 men, as Hulbert comes through, chips one over the top, but it's just well saved by Mitchell and then cleared away. I was saying, Blyth Spartans, 11 men to Leamington's 10 men, 1-0 to the good are the Green Army. Ben Shipway sprints down the line to take this throw. He's got an Exocet missile-like long throw. In it comes towards the penalty spot. Flicked on by Edwards, flicks down towards the far post. No one had gambled for the second ball. Ollie Hulbert really could have done better there just to try and react a bit quicker to the loose ball, but it's straight into the gloves of Mitchell.
But straight away you can see what you know, his throw, the issues that it causes. I mean, I think we'd have had a few more goals in the league for sure if he hadn't have missed, what was it, about 3 months of the season. So good to have him back.
It's going to bounce all the way through. It's going to be collected by James Mace. Mace kicks one out of his hands up towards Edwards, doesn't reach him, headed back forward, but it'll be collected at the back for Leamington and Theo Street. Street hoofs one forward, but given away to McGowan in the middle of the park, but Edwards collects the loose ball. Edwards uses Meredith now, who's overlapping. Meredith comes forward. Can he get his cross in? Yes, he can. It's all the way through to the far post and cleared away by the Green Army, only as far as Louis Hall. He uses Jack Lane, invites him forward. Lane chips one in towards the penalty area. It's loose, it's low, it's not good enough, and it's cleared away by the Spartans, and now they can counter-attack. They chip one over the top for the number 24 of Troy Chiabi to try and give chase. Chiabi now comes forward on the right-hand side. He tries to send one in towards Main, but that was loose. I don't even think he got his head up. He just expected Main to be there, and Main hadn't made the run. Well, Blyth a man in the Alamo now just to try and collect these 3 points as we tick towards full time. Up towards Edwards. Edwards is climbed on, but there's nothing doing. It's chipped forward by Theo Street. It's going to try and be won in the air by Usher Shipway. He heads it down towards Walker on the left-hand side. Forward comes Walker on his left foot. Can he get his cross in? It's blocked. Comes back to him again. He uses Usher Shipway. Can he get his cross in? Onto his left foot. Uses Walker once more. Walker, right-footed cross towards the far post. Header forward by Edwards. Really well defended by the Spartans, and they clear their lines. Up to Main on halfway, who's got Theo Street for company. Main and Street do battle. Main goes to ground. And well, I think he's absolutely bought that free kick. Theo Street knew what was coming and looked to even stand away from him, and Main just fell backwards and the referee bought it. Up towards Edwards. Edwards wins the flick on in towards the chest of Hulbert. Edwards again receives it, tries to send one over the top for Usher Shipway to give chase, but there's nothing doing there as he has his path blocked out, and then everyone gets involved, and that's full time. Boos ring out around your Cardiff Community Stadium. I think that's more towards the refereeing performance this afternoon, because there's plenty in a breaks persuasion who aren't happy with the performance they've seen from the men in black this afternoon. It's a frustrating afternoon, Craig.
Very frustrating. That is the key word, I think. Leamington will be left to rue those 7 chances potentially. Very much on top. Just couldn't get the ball over the line. Spellman did well in the opposition box, brought down by Clark, as you say, and Blyth scored, and it was just frustration from then onwards. And got a heck of a job to do now to try and find a goalkeeper for Tuesday.
Paul, a very hard defeat to take out there today. What's your thoughts on the game?
Thoughts on the game? I think you'd be able to replay a number of my videos in the last interviews in the last few weeks that we've dominated for large periods. Especially, the game could have been over after 15 minutes. We've come out with a real good purpose, umpteen opportunities, but sadly the connections, the finishing, the ruthlessness in the box is not there at the moment, and you sort of let teams off the hook. But we're probably in control of the game for large periods, I think. Obviously the game turns on its head really in the 44th minute, I think it was, back then. Listen, from where I was, it looked a little bit possibly clumsy. It's hard to tell, but probably it was certainly no worse than the contact on Adam Walker in the box, which was deemed not a penalty. And I think with the way the game had gone, where the referee all afternoon has just let things go. If that's his style, then fine. But he then decides, it's a penalty, and the red card offence wasn't for the penalties. It couldn't be a red card offence because he was going away from goal. There was 2 defenders there, but apparently he said something to him. So he'll be sending off a lot of players in his career, I'd have thought. And listen, we've had to get to 10 then, which was difficult one for me because you're looking at the players, they're working so hard. We never got breached really much. I can only think of that shot on target, the penalty, and we've still created again. But at this present moment in time, no matter what we're doing, tinkering with the system, changing training routines, doing all the things that you probably do when you're struggling to get a win or score goals, it's just not working for us. And we've just got to continue to keep working hard, keep believing. I think I said it last week, there's lots to like. The performance today, first half, it was everything about it was what you want at a home performance, the tempo, quality. But we have to breach the goal line. We've got to, the opportunities that are falling to the number of players. We've been slopping. It's been happening for a long time now. And it's the cause of our problems because, it's this defensive side of the game strong, isn't it? It's up there with teams in the league, but the goals for column, it's and listen, we've changed some of the personnel and we're trying to be a bit more attacking. There's a couple of chances fell to the 2 balls on the high line. You're looking at the 3, Liam, and you look at Dan and Ollie there. And you've watched Dan here for a couple of years. There's some of them opportunities just in the back of the net down there, but they're just not going in the moment. So as a player, I've been there. You've just got to work hard on the training ground, repeat, and you just got to hope it becomes a bit more natural on a Saturday. So listen, we've got lots of work to do. We've been in this position before. It's tough for everybody. It's massively important that the players stay in control of what they're doing, stay focused on what they're doing. I think we might have lost our focus with the scenario. So what you've got there, you've got an experienced player, and we've all been there, in the middle of the park, who's seeing things happening that he's getting cautioned for umpteen times, and this referee's decided not to do it. So there's frustration in the player. So he's probably said something he shouldn't say to the official. We all know that. But that's emotions, and sadly officials, managers, coaches, anyone that manages people, you have to understand emotions do happen. And there's a reason. But an experienced player has got to manage that situation. When I talk about staying in control of your emotions, that's a typical example of it. Yep, you're frustrated. Yep, you feel the decision's gone against you. Yep, you feel there's half a dozen things gone against you. You've got to put that to one side and try and do things properly. it is difficult. I fell foul of it myself this season, as you've seen as well. But listen, it's we're well aware what's happening in the league. We're all well aware it's not good enough. I know it's not good enough. The players know it's not good enough. The points return isn't good enough. The goals for column isn't good enough. And there's only one way I've ever known how to solve that problem. It's just by working hard. I don't know any other way, and I'll continue to do that. And the players will continue to do that. And hopefully, some of these spells in games where I think it's important that we have to get a period where we're scoring the first goal, and it's not happening at the moment. And we're putting pressure on ourselves. So so that's what we need to do.
Something else that didn't go Leamington's way today is we saw Callum come off. He looked very frustrated with that. What's the latest on him, do you know?
Doesn't look good. Doesn't look good now. No, it doesn't look good. It's swelled up a lot, and I think it's his landing that's done it. So, yeah, just when you think your day can't get much worse, it's that's a disappointing. It's a real disappointing one for us. It's really disappointing for Callum. Listen, he's been fantastic this year, and he's enjoying playing some regular football, and he's somebody that with more first team football, anything could happen for him. So this is a blow for him. Listen, it doesn't look, the early signs aren't great, but listen, it's one of them. Just let it settle down. It'll probably have to get scanned to see what it is. But certainly in the short term, we'll have to be looking at somebody else to replace Callum in the short term. Not good for the boy, and I think the way things have gone for us the last month, it just about tops it off, to be honest.